This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader who's going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me through this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Andre the Man in White, Chad Welsh, Sean McGuire, Laura and Johnny Lewis, and Rikky Morrisette. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Anne and Christopher Hasselden to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. I also want to acknowledge Kevin May, who increased his pledge over at patreon.com/the Wheel Weaves podcast. Thank you all so much for your support and your generosity. We really appreciate it, and it means so much to us. And in this episode, we're talking about chapters 36 and 37 of The Fires of Heaven.
Yeah, so chapter 36, we have a new name, and chapter 37 is Performances in Samara.
Yeah, I thought the new name threw me off a little bit.
Why?
I don't know, because it took so long of everyone calling her Birgitte.
Oh yeah, it's so funny.
I was like, is she actually going to get a new name, or is this a joke and her new name is Birgitte?
Yeah, it's such a good sequence. Like, I absolutely love these chapters. It's so funny, especially with... And we get to see kind of the aftermath of everything, too. Like, it's crazy. And you were right about some stuff. Like, you get some points here.
I do? You're going to give me... You are going to give me...
I'm going to hand out the points. You get, like, full 3 points.
What about gold stars? Do I get any of those?
You'll get a rainbow sticker.
A rainbow?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
You know, it's something, so...
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to start us off with a fun fact, and this one is really good, because I think I got this one right. As in, I think that the new name that we hear about was done intentionally.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, okay. So we do get a bit of the aftermath of Birgitte being, like, booted out of Tel Aranriad, and she chooses a new name rather than going by Birgitte, obviously.
Right, yeah.
But, like I was saying, the name she chooses is Marion.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Is this like a Maid Marian situation?
I totally think that Robert Jordan picked this as the most famous Marion that I can think of, which is Maid Marian.
Right, okay.
Okay, so I got some fun facts about Maid Marian from Robin Hood, obviously.
Yep.
And there's some cool details, because a lot of this stuff is very similar to, like, King Arthur myths, where there's so many different stories that none of them are exactly, like, the one right one, because it's just a character that's used in a bunch of stories.
Obviously, the Disney Fox version
is the most correct.
Is the right one.
I would say that one's the least correct, because that's more like damsel in distress style.
No.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit you with these fun facts. Okay, here we go. So in lots of the stories about Maid Marian, she's not actually like the damsel in distress character. More typically, she actually commands a lot of respect and is known for her courage and independence. And she is actually usually celebrated as a strong female character in all of English literature.
All right.
So Maid Marian's actually a kick-ass person. And here's why. Because in some of the stories, or in most of the stories, her and Robin Hood are a thing, or like a couple, to whichever degree, because sometimes they meet and sometimes they've known each other since childhood. But some of the great storylines include her acting as a spy to pass information to the rogues in Sherwood Forest, and sometimes she's an outlaw, along with Robin Hood and the Merry Men, and she is also noted to be as good a swordsman and as good an archer as Robin Hood. And in those tales, she's called Lady Marian instead.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
So she's a kick-ass archer lady.
All right, there you go.
That's why Birgitte chose Marian.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I think I got this one right. I may not have, but I think I did.
Okay, and I actually do have a fact for you, but like later on.
Oh my goodness, okay.
It was like by accident, and I went down a deep dive hole.
Is it about Marian?
Not at all.
Okay.
No. Oh no. It's just going to be a completely separate, not so fun fact.
Okay.
Okay, so last time, Nynaeve tried to spy on Moghedien in Tel Aranriad, and it went poorly.
Yeah, it really didn't go well.
It went terribly wrong, and that's about it.
But, hey, it's part of the pattern, so.
Sure, Birgitte got ripped out of Tel Aranriad.
And she might not be part of the pattern.
We have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any idea what's going on.
Yes, and we still don't. Even though, like, we know a little bit more, we know also less about a lot of stuff.
Right. And also, Elaine has Birgitte as her warder now.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh,
so,
man. Okay.
So
you gotta like keep reminding myself, like gotta remind myself of that too.
Yeah. I like that. It's probably the best thing Elaine has ever done.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
No mashed potatoes anymore, now with Birgitte around.
I mean, no. Now we're like fancy mashed potatoes.
Now you got like the bacon bits and the sour cream and the chives and like the...
Yeah, definitely we're a little bit more spruced up.
Okay.
But like underneath it all is still mashed potatoes.
Hey, mashed potatoes can be really good if you add enough butter.
Absolutely.
There's a lesson there.
Okay. So let's get into chapter 36 called A New Name. And we have the elephant head chapter symbol showing us they're still at the circus.
Yes.
So we're picking up where we left off with Birgitte in bed, sleeping, but not dying.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not like currently dying. She seems to be slowly recovering.
Right. And we enter in an Elaine perspective. So Elaine is watching over Birgitte while she sleeps. She's looking better, still pale. Birgitte is also talking in her sleep a little bit about Geidel Kane. She's saying things like, wait for me. And that's sad.
Yeah, it's very sad, and it gets more sad.
It gets worse. So Nynaeve, who's just been wandering around outside in the night with no shoes on.
Yeah, she's been doing that.
She comes back after about an hour.
Yeah.
And she's clearly been crying, and she tells Elaine that she will watch over Birgitte now. So Elaine also doesn't really feel like sleeping, so she goes outside and sits down with Tom and Julian around their little fire because they are also not sleeping.
Yeah, I think everybody should just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, everyone needs some sleep right now. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to remind you of this point later in this episode.
Okay.
If I forget...
I'll remind you of the beginning of this?
Yeah, it's going to be how incredulous I am about Elaine's act and how well she does.
What?
With very little practice.
Okay. Very little practice. Okay. All right.
I mean, and we'll talk about it, but like,
all right.
Also sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just because you can't do it.
I don't think she can either. Okay, so Julian pulls out something after Elaine sits down and hands it to Elaine saying, I found it where she was lying, as if she dropped it from her hand.
Yes.
And it's the silver arrow.
Yeah, so it's really interesting that came with her.
Well, like, how does that work? Because the bow she was holding didn't.
That's true. And her clothes didn't either.
And
her
clothes didn't.
Yeah.
It seems, I don't know. I wrote, how does that work?
Well, we don't know the rules.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something going on there.
Okay.
What did Birgitte say?
Yeah.
No, I don't know though.
Something weird is going on. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to go with some of it.
I guess so. My initial reaction is that it's probably nefarious.
Okay. The arrow itself or the implication of the arrow being here?
The implication of the arrow being
okay.
here. Like, I don't know if Moghedien, like, sent it somehow.
As a tracking
tracker. Yeah, I don't know. It just sounds
well,
crazy.
We saw Moghedien and she didn't...
No, but we didn't see her after.
That's true.
Like, she got healed.
Yeah.
And she might have gone back to do something, some sleuthing. We don't know what Moghedien did.
Okay, I'm not saying anything.
I know, you're never saying anything. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the actual good thing, too. About Tom's reaction to it.
Oh, yeah, he's
let's
like,
talk about that.
That's distinctive. And the braid, you know, every story mentions the braid.
Yeah. So,
and now even Julian is like, what the heck is actually going on here?
Yeah, like Tom doesn't actually say anything, but he's like, what's going on? So does Tom know?
Yeah, oh yes.
Like Tom knows.
100%.
Okay.
100% he knows.
Because he's hinting.
Yeah, and especially after Elaine tells them everything except for Brigitte's name.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn obvious.
Okay. So he's like,
Oh yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense later with the whole him and Julian taking bets.
Oh, yeah.
Which is hilarious. Yes. It makes it way...
I know.
way
it's
funnier.
So it's so good. Okay, so Elaine still isn't breaking her promise about keeping Brigitte's identity a secret, but I have to say, it's different now. I think she had to keep Brigitte's identity a secret because of the prescripts, and she wasn't supposed to be doing what she was doing in Tel'aran'rhiod.
Sure.
And so... now it's different.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, okay.
Sure, you shouldn't be telling everybody that this is Birgitte Silverbow from the, you know...
I appreciate because I respect that Elaine is respecting Brigitte's decision.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
and
got
to be
pretty,
fair,
yeah.
if she's like, oh yes, this is Birgitte, oh yes, all the heroes of the Horde live in Tel'aran'rhiod, well, that's probably also breaking prescripts.
Sure.
Right? To just even tell that. But
Yeah, I mean, it's like two sides of the coin. Like, she's gonna honor Birgitte's, her ask of saying, don't say my name.
Yeah.
But then she does the exact opposite to Nynaeve with the whole healing the black eye thing, where it's like, I don't really care what you say, I'm just gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
It was that whole thing we talked about last chapter.
Yeah, not great. So Elaine asks why they didn't give the arrow to Nynaeve, because she was out here. But it turns out she just came out here, cried on Tom's shoulder, apologized for everything she's ever done.
Yeah.
There's this whole story about how Nynaeve is in a very bad headspace.
It goes on for a page and a half of Tom and Julian being like, we can't handle this. We can't do anything about this.
Yeah, it's
You need
so
to do
weird.
something.
Well, and then Julian even tells a story about how she's reminding him of a woman that he knew one time.
Right,
who
yeah.
accidentally killed her husband.
And then killed herself shortly
and then
after.
killed herself.
And it's like, this
and
is...
it's like, I get it.
Seriously bad.
I get it. Except that after Birgitte is alive and wakes up and says, hey, don't feel bad, I make my own decisions, Nynaeve, still can't snap out of it.
Yeah, she really can. So we gotta talk about that when we get to it, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, and
That's
it doesn't
for
seem
sure.
like it doesn't end by the end of these chapters.
No, and I have a thing I want to ask you.
Okay.
So, Tom says, with a man who's acting like this,
Yeah.
it's super easy to deal with him because you basically just, get him drunk.
Yeah.
And then get him a and then it ...
Sure.
PR ...
Sure.
And my mind went to prostitute.
Possible.
But then later, Elaine thinks pretty boy or pretty girl.
Yeah, it could have been a pretty young thing or something, because
Yeah.
if you think back to Tom's depression,
Yeah.
that's what he did, was he got drunk in Tarvalon and found a couple pretty young things.
Yeah, but it didn't work very effectively.
No, it didn't. He's being super hypocritical right
Yeah.
now. But yeah.
Yeah, but my mind was like,
What it took was you need
prostitute?
Matt.
Is it prostitute? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think it's prostitute.
No, probably
But-
I would say it's not. I'd say pretty thing or something like that. But to
Okay.
the same effect of
And
find
then
some
Elaine's
love.
like, ugh, I'm not a child.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so anyways, Elaine is gonna have to deal with Nynaeve. Okay.
We're all gonna have to deal with Nynaeve.
Right? Oh my god. So Elaine decides that it's time to tell Tom and Julian the truth. They're traveling with them. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And now Moghedien for sure knows where they are, is probably going to come after them in the real world. So, let's go perform at a circus tomorrow. But on the other side,
After that, then we're okay.
for sure going to
Yeah.
hide.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally.
Get out of here.
Well, it's like hiding in plain sight, right? No one's gonna expect the tightrope walker to be the one you're looking for.
Well, Moghedien would.
No.
What?
No. Nope.
And how about the one who's literally her skill is archery, but
Okay.
now her braid is black.
But
so-
you've also forgotten there's a dozen different menageries.
Oh.
So
Yeah, okay.
there's a lot of ground to cover.
All right. Okay. With their luck, Moghedien would check theirs first.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's for sure what would happen.
Yeah, that totally might happen.
Yeah.
It also might not happen. We don't know.
All right. So she's going to tell them the truth, pretty much everything about Tel'aran'rhiod, about the Forsaken, Moghedien. She does not tell them about Birgitte's identity, still, although likely they know already. That's what I wrote in my notes. It's likely Tom already knows.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
He's
So-
99% sure.
Yeah. But she tells them pretty much all the important stuff. And now that the truth is out there, Elaine gives the men a choice about whether or not they want to stay or go. And it's pretty obvious. They're like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
We're staying. We're protecting you. We're in this.
Everyone has fair points, too.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Tom and Julian already know that some very dangerous stuff is going on.
Yeah.
What the dangerous stuff is irrelevant.
It's just confirming that it's yes, it is in fact super dangerous.
But chasing Black Aja is also
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah.
I get that it's all dangerous and there's just different levels of danger, but
Yeah.
danger.
So, did Rand really use the words?
Rand is gonna murder me if you get hurt.
Yeah. No, not
one?
that's
Oh.
that's the paraphrasing of what Rand
Oh.
probably said. Because Julian uses the words hand you back to Rand. I have to hand you back.
Oh, yeah.
And then Elaine later is oh man, Rand can't believe.
Hand me back indeed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's her words.
Yeah, so did Rand really say it that way?
No, it was Lan who came pounding on
Rand also went. They both went.
What? No.
Yeah, didn't they both go?
No.
I'm pretty sure they both went.
No, it was Lan who went.
From Rand?
Yes, he went
on behalf
of Rand.
Right, okay.
Except that I think that Lan was probably lying.
Okay. I'm just asking about the phrasing.
It has nothing to do with Rand. Because Rand was at his big boss meeting.
Yeah.
Slamming Kalendor into the thing, and Moiraine didn't know where Lan was.
Right, okay. All right.
Why are you saying it like that?
No, that's good.
Did I miss something?
Nope, you're good.
Why are you...
Now you're overthinking it. Let's just keep moving.
Okay. Anyway, they're staying. So Elaine is going to hold them to their word of listening to their orders, though. And they're like, yeah, sure, we've been doing that this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But it's bedtime.
Yeah. And then she tells them all, it's time for bed, everyone. So,
yeah,
go to bed.
There's a funny thing about her sounding like her mother, too, so.
Oh, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
So Elaine goes back inside the wagon and puts the silver arrow out of sight. She doesn't need Nynaeve dealing with that just yet. And then Nynaeve doesn't really even notice. She's just in a state. And Elaine's like, you gotta wash your feet. And also, it's time for bed.
Yeah.
And Nynaeve looks at her feet. She's like, my feet? What?
It's like she is so zonked out of it. And it's like, okay, so Nynaeve has gone through...
She was like in shock, and now she's overtired.
Yeah. Like there was the emotional turmoil of thinking that she killed Birgitte, but also her like mini battle with Moghedien. Like she has been through a lot physically and mentally tonight. She needs to go to sleep.
Yeah. So Nynaeve is in this like huge self-pity mode, and Elaine has had enough and is like, quit sulking, go to sleep, or I'm gonna give you to the one who beat you up.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarandon. The Shan-Chan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so Nynaeve ends up listening to Elaine and drifts off to sleep, and Elaine sits down on the floor and sort of nods off as well.
Yeah, she does like some stitching or something.
Yeah, and then she does have some weird dreams
that
I really don't think are relevant.
Okay.
I don't think they matter. I don't think they're important. It really just seems like they're reflections of what's happening in the world.
Yeah, they don't seem like Teleranria dreams or anything.
Definitely not.
So just
not
like regular
dreams, no.
bonding Rand dreams.
Bonding Rand dreams, and then a bunch of other women are around her because she knows she has to share Rand.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she's waking up to someone saying, where is this place? Wake up. This is not Teleranria.
It's a funny dream sequence because it's like on TV where it's like the one person in your dream is saying it, but then in reality, the person in real life is saying it and the faces kind of swap, right?
Has that never happened to you? What do you mean on TV? That's for sure happened to me in real life. No, it hasn't happened. You're staring at me very blankly.
Yeah, like on TV where it's like, wake up, and it's like the person in your dream is saying that.
Yeah.
And then in reality, it's someone in real life saying that.
Yeah, you've never experienced...
That's a TV thing.
Well, no, I've experienced that in real life.
What?
Not the wake up thing, but if you hear somebody like saying something...
Sure.
But in your dream, somebody's saying it...
Oh, no, I've never had that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a TV thing.
No, that's a real thing.
Interesting, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, hey.
Hey, okay. Well, learn something new.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's just a...
No, it's not.
Maybe your dreams got it from TV.
No,
I don't know.
What? No. Okay, so Elaine wakes up and it's Birgitte who's like, what the hell is going on? She's awake now. She remembers everything. She's like, I'm out here and I remember.
Yeah, this is what I was going to give you the gold stars for and the points because I asked you at the end of the last chapter, like, hey, what do you think? And do you think that she's forgotten everything? Do you think that she even knows who she is? Because honestly, it could have gone either way, where it could have been like she's got no memory of anything. And it's like, who am I? Where am I? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that could have been a mess, but I really didn't think that was going to happen.
And you were right.
Cool.
So sometimes when you think something's really not going to happen, you are infinitely wrong.
Yes,
so
that's true.
Here you are correct.
I like being right.
Yeah, good job.
That's great. But it's not great for Birgitte because
really
she
bad.
is trying not to cry and is definitely like a bit out of sorts, and she worries about Geidel and their future. And then we get like a whole bunch of that. She's totally spinning about her and Geidel are two halves of a whole and now they're separated, and she starts crying. And then she says that Moghedien said that she would make her cry forever.
Yes. A couple notes about what Birgitte says about Geidel.
Yeah.
That I gotta throw out there for us to think about long term. So she does, and we have talked about this when we saw Birgitte get kicked out, about Geidel, and she says he could be an infant or even a young boy.
Because time is weird.
Time is wonky. We don't know exactly how time works, because we saw Geidel, and it's like in Teleranria, in the books, we saw him.
Yeah.
And then we saw when he got booted out to be born, but it's like, how does the time work of like going back in time for when he's actually born? So how old is he actually? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I just gotta like throw that out there right now.
Okay.
And then second thing is Geidel is going to wander searching for Birgitte because he's not going to know what he's looking for.
Yeah.
And because he has that...
He's going to always feel empty if he never
and
finds her.
we've seen that in Rand's Flicker lives, where in some of his alternate lives, he had the feeling of like, oh, I should be doing something else with my life. And then when he had the alternate life of fighting the Dark One and like marching with the Emmons Fielders to, you know, the whole Tarman Gaiden thing against the Trollocs, he was like, oh, this is my purpose. This is what I should be doing. So it's like that weird feeling of not doing what you're supposed to be doing in life.
Right.
So we kind of got to see that with Rand's Flicker stuff.
With Rand. I couldn't remember who you were talking about.
It's Rand.
It's Rand. Okay.
It's Rand.
Okay.
And then it's like Geidel is going to have a similar thing where his life isn't going the way it's supposed to be going.
Got it. Okay.
It's just, it's a comparison.
Okay. And now I did have a prediction.
Okay.
So back in The Shadow Rising, chapter 52, Need.
Okay.
Nynaeve was bopping around in Tel'aran'rhiod, and she sees Moghedien, and she was going to attack Moghedien, thinking she was just a Black Sister,
right.
And Birgitte stops her.
Right.
And this is like the first real conversation that Birgitte and Nynaeve have.
Okay.
And now this is where we get for the first time that Birgitte says to Nynaeve, Moghedien is dangerous and terrible, and in like a past life, I didn't know who she was, but when I, got back here to Tel'aran'rhiod, I knew she promised to make me weep forever.
Yes.
Because she had like defeated Moghedien or something like that.
Yeah, she
like,
ruined the plan.
Ruined a plan or something like that. So you had me, well, I guess I just had a natural prediction about what that might mean.
Okay.
And I will play back the clip.
You will?
Right here.
Okay, that's
of what
exciting.
I said in that, and if anyone wants to go listen to like the whole thing, it's episode 427.
Okay.
So season 4, episode 27, and it's around an hour and 30. That was a very long, long episode.
Yeah.
And so I'll play it here, and just so that you know what it is. Do you want to listen to it?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to know what you said.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll listen to it. We'll listen to it then.
You say so many things I can't keep track.
I know. I say so many things. It's difficult, but that's why I like being able to plug it in here.
Do you have it here?
Great. I do have it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so not exactly correct.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Points for effort on my side.
Okay. I thought you were going to give me points for effort on my side.
Oh, because of how good you are at...
Well, I know what's going to happen to Birgitte.
Yeah.
So when you're saying, like, destroy Geidel Cain forever...
Yeah.
I mean, hey, there's still time.
No, and we all know how good you are at whatever you do. We all know that. But can we give me some credit? Because I very rarely get anything.
You did. You got you get lots of points. Are you kidding me? Okay. It's just we don't always talk about them, but you have them. So.
Okay, so my prediction about Geidel Cain being destroyed was wrong. That was wrong.
Okay.
He's what didn't get killed in the dream world.
It's the separation of the two.
And that's what's going to make her weep forever.
Yes.
And I get points for that.
Okay, I'll give you points for that.
Okay.
Gold star. Okay.
Anyway, I thought that was just interesting. I love being able to bring things like that back. That's why being recorded is great. Now, if
it's also terrible for that reason, because then everything you've ever said is
I know, but if I could remember half of the things I've said, this podcast would be nothing but just revisits of our past podcasts.
That's like podcast number 2.
Yeah,
is the
like
revisit.
This one I specifically remembered like exactly when it happened, and so I was able to go back and listen. But some things we say, I'm like, oh man, I know I made a prediction about this, but I have no idea when it was or where it is.
Because it could be in the middle of any episode ever.
Oh my god, and some of them are like almost 2 hours long. Like,
I don't have time for that.
You know what's funny is there are so many people listening who know more about what I've said than I do.
Yeah.
And it's funny. They're like, no, Dani, that's not what you said. And I go, oh.
I'd say a lot of things.
I don't know.
See, that's why in my brain, I give you gold stars as you're saying things, but then it's like I immediately have to discard them.
Right.
Because I can't applaud you at the time of prediction for yes or no. So.
I know. That's why the
Okay.
big things are important. Also, in that chapter, that episode that we were listening to, I predicted that Asmodean and Lanfear were working together in the waste.
Amazing.
Like, that's where I
Wow.
made that prediction.
Okay.
Because we find out it's Asmodean who was, like, snooping around
Yeah.
in Ruidian.
Yes.
And so that's where I was like, oh, that's for sure. I'm convinced now that that's what's happening. And I made that solid prediction. So
Yeah.
it was nice to hear that back, too. That was great.
Hey, bonus points. Okay.
I know. Every once in a while, I'm just going to pick a random episode to
And like listen to it and see.
And we should do some like bonus episodes on like, I listened to this episode.
Are you only going to tell us when you find the good ones?
Yes. I'm really wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay. So, Birgitte sees Nynaeve and asks if Moghedien hurt her badly. And then Elaine explains that physically she'll be okay, but emotionally she's a train wreck. And she thinks that everything is her fault. And Birgitte clearly is like, no, I make my own choices. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's nice that like right from the get-go, Birgitte is...
Like, that wasn't her fault. If
Yeah.
anything, that was my fault. But there's no fault here.
Yeah.
So...
It's like, it was a Forsaken, a shitty person doing a shitty thing. It's none of our fault. Like, it's a little bit of their fault.
I would say it's
you get what
I
I'm
would say
saying.
it's more Brigitte's fault than Nynaeve's.
Yeah,
If
Birgitte should know better.
If we're actually placing blame in this entire situation, Birgitte should have said no to going back and spying on Moghedien.
She is the older child in this scenario. So yes.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
So then we get Birgitte stopping and saying, hey, wait a minute. I can feel you?
That's
Question
the
mark?
600-pound elephant in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Elaine is like, well, the thing is, that's because I've bonded you as my warder. And then
Right.
And then she's like, but you were dying and it was the only thing that would work because healing wasn't working and this was the solution.
You know who gets a gold star here?
Birgitte.
It's Birgitte.
Oh, she's like into it.
She's taking everything just in stride.
Well, sort of. She was just sobbing a minute ago.
But I mean, just sobbing a little bit and like barely, not Nynaeve level of like wandering
Existential
around
crisis.
in the dirt. Like she's doing pretty good of like, I've been kicked out. My soulmate is lost to me forever or whatever is like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then I'm a warder now to this.
But she also has the mentality of,
yeah,
there's nothing I can do to change this, so
we're just going to go with it.
we're just going to go with it.
Wheel weaves,
She's
bro.
very, I can't think of the word.
Yeah. No, I got it. I get what you're saying.
Very straightforward, logical.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of logic.
Okay.
So I like the part where Birgitte says that she's heard a tale of a female warder once.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to go over that?
Oh,
not the... No. Sorry, not the female
not
warder.
the female warder. That's just like a side note.
I was saying the other one.
Because then Elaine is gonna tell the super truth. She's just telling everybody all the truth right now. And she says, well, you're gonna learn this at some point. I'm not a full Aes Sedai. I'm just an accepted. And then Brigitte's like, I have a story about another accepted that bonded a warder.
Yeah, this is the funny story.
Like a bajillion years ago.
Yeah. I mean, not that many.
100?
Well, probably more than that, maybe.
Oh, see, I don't know.
Yeah, because it was during the Trolloc Wars.
Let me just say bajillion and let's...
It was Trolloc Wars, so about 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Remember, breaking was
What
3,000?
was 100 years ago?
Nothing was 100. 1,000 years ago was Archer Hawkwing and the War of the 100 Years.
What's the War of Power?
That was the breaking 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago was the breaking and the War of
God.
Power.
Okay.
2,000 years ago was the Trolloc Wars. 1,000 years ago was Archer Hawkwing's empire collapsing.
Okay.
Because think of it
know
this
what I'm
way.
thinking of? Matt and his memories.
Okay, yeah,
Some of
that
it was like 150 years ago.
Yeah, that was like a 15 or 1,500 year time frame there.
Yeah.
Around in the middle of all that stuff.
Okay.
It was like a little bit before the Trolloc Wars.
Sure, okay.
To a little bit after Archer Hawkwing or something like that. It was somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to tell the story?
Just like real quick, the funny thing is that it was the story of Barashel. That was the accepted, and she bonded a warder, and then
A day before she took her oaths.
and then she
because
wasn't
she
allowed
was scared that someone else was going to take him.
to. Yeah.
And then everyone found out, and she got super punished.
She had to pass the bond, so we know that's
Yeah.
a thing. And then she couldn't take the test. She had to like wash dishes for it was 3 years. And then when she became an Aes Sedai, the Amerlin picked a warder for her named Ansalan.
A guy who
Yeah.
was
it gets better.
No fan of jokes.
It gets better because Elaine knows 2 versions of the story, and it's never mentioned that Baruchel is an Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
It's just like this love story.
It's a love story.
And then we have heard Baruchel and Ancelan before. We've heard those names because in the book that Egwene borrows from Avienda with all the love stories,
that's one
called
of them.
The Flame, the Blade, and the Heart. It's a collection of tales about Birgitte and Geidel.
Yeah.
And Ancelan and Baruchel, and then also Rogosh, Eagle-Eye, and Dunsinane. But
okay,
it's a love story, and it's funny that it's in a book we've heard before. So
that is funny, and it's just another note about how tales change over the years.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And so then we get a bit of banter. Birgitte swears to keep Elaine safe, serve as her warder, keep it secret, be her friend. Very good.
Yep.
And so Birgitte is going to start being her warder right now by telling her it's time to go to bed, lady.
Yeah, that's what orders do.
Sure.
Lan does that all the time for Moraine. He's like, hey,
you're tired.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. All right. So
I'm like your warder sometimes where I'm like, hey, you're grumpy and tired. Go to sleep.
No, mostly you tell me I should eat something.
That's true. You're
That's
like, I'm tired. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, I always just go, you don't have to tell me to go to bed. I'll be like, Brett, I'm going to bed.
And I'll be like, it's 9:30.
You'll look at me in the middle of a sentence and be like, have you eaten in a while?
And like not even sarcastically, because that's
No.
just like something that you get hangry.
I get grumpy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, we got to make sure you're fed.
Yeah, you're my warder. It's nice. It's fine. So everyone goes to sleep. Elaine has some more dreams about bonding Rand, and sometimes he's kneeling, and sometimes she has to like do it without consent, but
Is like the Birgitte thing.
Yeah.
These don't seem like the prophetic
Nothing.
type of
They're
dreams.
literally nothing, and
but it
doesn't
is
even
funny.
matter.
It's funny because she like lists people who she'd be okay with it being the other woman.
Yeah. And
In
Nin
the
and
whole-
Avienda
Yeah.
are the two are part of her list.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
'Cause-
Egwene and Nynaeve, which is funny.
Yeah, but definitely not Barrelane.
Or Elida.
Oh yeah, for
It's like-
sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But everybody wakes up just before sunrise, and it's time to get to work because they're going to be crossing the river into Samara today.
Yeah, it's go time.
Yeah, and so Birgitte seems to be doing okay, and Nynaeve has dyed Brigitte's hair for the whole disguise thing.
Yep.
And Nynaeve isn't really doing okay.
Yeah.
Even with Birgitte being alive. Like, we missed that whole interaction that I actually thought was going to be important for us to see.
Okay.
Where Nynaeve wakes up, knows that Brigitte's awake, alive, okay.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't seem like it's changed anything
It
in
doesn't
Nynaeve's
matter,
brain.
no.
Because Nynaeve at this point is doing like literally everything for Birgitte. Like she's getting her food and snacks and
She
doing the
even
hair
wants
thing.
to like sew her dress even though she can't sew, and she's disappointed when Elaine's slippers fit better than hers.
Yeah, so like she's in
Yeah.
this like subservient, thing. So
Yeah.
like she's like, I gotta do everything for you. I got something to say about that in a second, but not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the sun comes up, and Tom and Julian are outside getting the wagon and the horses ready to go. Luca is out and about shouting at everybody to make sure they're all ready and to make sure the animals are fearsome and the performers are doing stuff.
Luca's high strung right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we gotta go.
And you guys better be just looking so good.
Well, I love it because he does that whole rant where he's like, there's other competition. They've been set up for days, and there's someone who juggles swords and axes, and then one person has 9 acrobats, and like, what are you guys doing? And someone else has clowns, which is like the equivalent of like clowns throwing pies in each other's faces.
Oh, yes.
So he's like freaking out. He's like, we gotta be on our game.
We don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like
and then
whole...
he sees Birgitte,
Yeah.
who's just here.
Who are you? Who are you?
No, he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
He says to Elaine and Nynaeve, what are you gonna do? Sleep till dawn, or sleep till noon?
Yeah.
But the sun literally just came up, and he's like,
high strung.
yeah. But then he also says, "Are you talking to this woman from across the river? Bah, get out of here, lady."
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is really stressed out.
Yes, absolutely. And so there's really no time for him to ask any questions. He thinks that she must be some local from Samara, and then we get that conversation about how other circuses have clowns, and Luca asks Birgitte if she'd be willing to dress up the same as that and get hit in the face.
I love this so much. Like, this last, like, couple pages here of this chapter are so funny.
It's like he's so, like, she just, like, gets hired.
Yeah, she's like, oh, man, they have clowns, and, hey, can you be a clown? Can I hit you in the face with a bladder or something? It's not gonna hurt, but can I do it? It's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
No?
Oh, fuck that, actually. She's like, I'm not a fool. I'm an archer. And it's like, God damn it, Birgitte.
Yeah.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
This is the beginning of the fun. This is the very start of it.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that this is
so
happening.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious, and I like it, but I also hate it at the same time because it's irresponsible and stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, but I get it. It's funny, and I like it.
We're going to do a shot because this is my Lord of the Rings comparison.
Okay.
And it's not the best, but I got to say it because I love it.
Okay.
And we're going to be, like, watching it tomorrow, so... You know.
Oh, yes, the people need to know. People
need to
have
know.
been asking. We've been saying it probably for a year that we need to watch this movie.
We finally have
movies.
4.5 hours tomorrow night, hopefully.
Yep. Date night. We're having date night.
Yeah.
We've decided. We set a time. We're going to watch the first movie.
The first one, yeah.
No
we're not
marathoning for me.
No 9 hours. It's just like the first one. We're going to get through it, so.
Yeah.
Okay. So my whole comparison when... Birgitte's here with the braid, and it's like, she's Birgitte, and she's like, I'm an archer, and then Lucas says, who are you, Birgitte?
Yeah.
It's like if you were in our world at a circus, and then out of nowhere, some dude with like blonde hair pulled back in braids and has pointy ears, and he comes up and he's like, I'm an archer, and you say, who are you, Legolas? And then it's actually friggin' Legolas pretending not to be Legolas. It'd be great. It'd be so funny, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm totally here for this chapter.
I like Legolas.
Yeah.
That's the one person I like legit remember because Orlando Bloom is so hot.
He's so beautiful.
I love him so much. He
I
got so old.
I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean the other day.
Oh, so good.
Great.
Except he's a little wiener. Just like in Troy.
Troy, yeah.
Yeah, but he's Paris.
He plays plays that character well, so.
Yeah. All right, do you want to talk about these shot glasses while I'm pouring the liquor?
Sure. So these 2 shot glasses are new to our collection from our awesome patrons.
Yes.
Brandy and Aaron.
Yep.
And they are 2 Georgia shot glasses.
This one is from Georgia University.
Yes, and this one is just of Georgia.
Yeah.
And it's got awesome little artwork on it, too.
Yeah, but let me tell you, there are 2 things I need to talk about these shot glasses.
Okefenokee Swamp.
No.
Yeah.
The first thing is, today is the first day of JordanCon, which is taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're not there.
Yeah.
So, this is a little bit of a rub in the face.
Little bit.
Little salt in the wound, if you will.
To be fair, they did come in the mail a couple of days ago,
Yes.
and we waited until we're recording tonight, so.
That's fair. But, also, these came in the mail the same day that the episode came out, where I was whining about people not sending us shot glasses.
Also funny.
Yeah.
You should whine about it more.
Turns out, although they had no idea I was about to whine that we weren't getting shot glasses, they like literally arrived. So
yeah, these are nice ones. I like it.
Amazing.
They go on the shelf.
They go on the shelf. We're super pumped. We're excited about it. And we got to talk about shot glasses again.
Yeah. Cheers to Legolas.
Yeah. And Brandy and Aaron for sending us shot glasses.
Oh yeah. I was going to say cheers to Legolas, the Birgitte of his time.
Okay.
Sorry, I aggressively clinked your shot glass.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oof, you like sloshed it over the side. Okay. Oh my god.
We have officially started the USA college shot glass collection.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Ugh, that was a bad one for me. You know, Legolas and Birgitte are both blondes.
And have braids.
And
and
have
are
braids.
archers.
Yeah.
I know, I was serious.
I
That wasn't a joke.
I know, I like it though. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and they're both probably very hot. Is Birgitte hot? I picture her being pretty hot.
Yeah. It's Geidel Kane who's the ugly one. Remember?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's all scarred up. He looks like a Ninja Turtle.
He's ugly.
Yeah.
She likes that.
It was that same episode where we talked about that because we met him for the first time,
yeah,
too.
okay.
Back in Shadow Rising.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this, though, because we've somehow made this one very... I don't want to say boring. People get mad when I say boring. This very uneventful...
Yeah, only a few things happen.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Next chapter is less so because...
Oh my god, it's even
we're just
less
not going to talk
eventful.
about a lot of
I
this.
feel like next chapter doesn't even need to have happened.
Hey now.
Does
hey
anyone
now.
else feel that way? Because it was so unnecessary?
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Alright, let's finish this chapter first, though. So, Birgitte, who's like, I'm an archer. And then Luca's like, who are you? Birgitte. And then there's some back and forth with Luca being just like a dick.
Yeah.
And Birgitte betting him money that she's better than he is. And she keeps calling him Pretty Man.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny.
Well, and keep in mind, because Birgitte likes Skytle King because he's ugly.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the pretty man.
No. And like if someone's like too pretty, also you're like, okay.
Ugh, terrible.
Pretty man. You know, I imagine Galad
Oh, yeah,
also
okay.
being Pretty Man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, just like too pretty.
Sure.
Not
It's like Zac Efron. Like, what are you doing, man? You're too pretty. What's happening here?
Okay, I was about to say I'm not for Pretty Men, but like maybe I am.
Yeah, I think you are.
Okay, whoops. Okay, except Zac Efron recently did some things to his face.
We don't have time for that.
I know. Okay,
That's not what this is about.
You're right. We talk about Hugh Jackman enough in this.
That's because we're still secretly hoping he's going to get cast in the Wheel of Time show.
Okay, so no, he's too old now. It's got to be Zac Efron at this point.
They could find a role for him. I'm just saying.
I know. Okay, so Luca finally accepts, but not before it looks like he might have apoplexy.
Yeah. Again.
Again
So
with
much.
the apoplexy.
Well, now because you're looking for it.
I was not. I'm just reading the book.
No, and half the time you barely read the words in the book.
Oh,
so,
Brett. Oh,
okay.
God. You're so mean to me. Oh, my God. Okay. So Luca leaves and then comes back with 2 super shitty bows and arrows that are also terrible for their little bet.
They're terrible by Birgitte, the mythical archer's
because
standards.
They're not silver.
Yeah,
like,
they're not
literally metal silver.
Well, and
But,
like I get it because like arrows need to be well crafted so they can fly straight, so they go where you think they're gonna go.
Yes,
but it's just like she clearly has like super high standards.
Yeah, but she's like, these are terrible. But anyways, everyone is crowding around Tom and making bets.
Right, because this is what I was going to talk about, because they totally know that it's actually Birgitte, so they're swindling people out of their money right now.
Absolutely, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It is excellent. So Luca is like, I'll take the first shot so you can see how good I am.
Yeah.
And then he walks out 50 paces, and then Brigitte's like, pfft, and she walks out 50 more paces.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm going to go first, actually.
Yeah, and then she starts just to, like, throw the arrows away.
Yeah.
She looks at everyone. She's throwing out, like, the...
What's the ratio? It's 4-21 that she kept, yeah.
Yeah, and she shoots all 4 of them. And so Elaine has a thought about this bet, which is actually, like, a lot of coin.
Yes.
A lot of money.
A lot.
And the fact that the letter of rights from Swan... for, like, the Tarvalin banks.
Yeah, because it was 2 or 3 letters. Well, it was like 2 or 3 letters for 3,000 each.
Right.
It was like a crazy amount of money.
And now they are useless pieces of paper.
Yeah, because it's like a giant arrow being like...
They are kindling.
Where are these? Like,
especially because Elida is in charge now, and those were signed by Swan.
Yeah, so...
So they're useless.
Big arrow, okay.
Yeah, they're useless. And so I think that to settle their debt that they have for Luca, because they made it clear that they're not going to leave without giving him what they owe him. Like, that was a couple chapters ago, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, of course we're not leaving, because whatever. But I think in order to settle things, they should just start making all of these ridiculous wagers all the time.
And be like, you actually owe us money.
Yes. And then just be like, fine, debt settled. And leave.
Nice.
And then that way they don't have to feel guilty. They don't have to actually take his money.
Okay.
It's like that's how I wish this would happen, but I don't know if it will happen that way.
Yeah. Well, there's also that thing where Luca doesn't necessarily even believe that they're the lady and Nana.
Oh, yeah, Nana.
Yeah, because he's always very condescending. He's like, oh, lady, what is it, Morellin or something?
Morellin. Yeah. If that is your name,
Lady
he says.
Morellin. Yeah.
And I was like, what?
So he doesn't even know.
He was skeptical. Like,
he doesn't even know if the money's actually coming, so.
I know, but that would be good. In my books, I would like that.
Sure.
So Birgitte goes first, and she does her thing, fires an arrow, then another one, and then it all hits dead center.
Yeah, she Robin Hoods it.
She splits the arrow.
She Lady
Morellin. No, we just said that. No, I know what it is. Marion.
Yeah,
yes.
Lady Marion.
Marion. Yes. Okay. Now she also Merida's it. Merida from Brave.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
She also does the thing where she splits the arrow down the arrow, but that's a cartoon.
Yeah, it is.
But I still love it.
This is real life.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, you're... Okay. Yep.
That's the whiskey.
That's so funny. Oh, man. I do think this is real life, turns out.
Hey, I told you when we first started this.
We're best friends with all these characters now.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Okay, so she does the arrow thing. It's all good. Luca is just flabbergasted.
Oh, very much so.
That's a good word.
I just think in his mind, he's also super pissed off because he's like, oh,
his
just got
mouth
showed
is
up.
just like hanging open. And then he's like, oh shit, she got skill.
I can make so much effing money off of this.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yes. So he goes, and I didn't get this at first.
Okay.
I didn't get this till the second, read.
Oh, that makes it funnier.
Yeah, because I just, read over it. I get that he was excited and wanted her to shoot in the circus, but I didn't understand.
What this means?
When he says, not knives, arrows from 100 pages.
Yeah, so not Tom throwing knives at Nynaeve. It's her shooting arrows at Nynaeve.
So does that mean Tom... No, Tom's not out because he does the fire eating thing.
He's got a bunch of skills.
Later,
He's just not throwing knives at Nynaeve anymore.
At Nynaeve. She's going to stand there.
She's going to shoot arrows from 100 yards. It's so funny.
It's so bad.
It's good.
And, the whole crimson dress thing that we learned from Kaylee last time.
Right.
Right now, that's, backwards in time.
Yes.
But turns out that whole wearing red to hide blood is a complete myth.
Not true. But not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't work. Red, it still shows up.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, Tom and Julian are also now collecting their bets.
Right, but Nynaeve
totally
also
swindling
knew
people.
what he was talking about and was no, but then also doesn't protest.
Yeah.
So, Luca is super excited about his new act.
Yeah, Birgitte and her silver arrows and bow.
And we will paint the bow and arrows silver.
It's so funny.
And this is obviously not great. So Brigitte's actually, no, paint will ruin the bow, and you can call me Marion.
Yeah.
I was called that once.
Exactly. Wheel turns. There you go.
Yeah. And that must have been a life she remembers that she liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get a little bit of information about, who she was, or if we've already sort of got that. But I don't think so.
Not really. We got a couple things where she does the old-timey, says things from, stuff a long time ago that nobody knows. It's kind of like what Matt does, honestly. Right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, this thing that happened a long time ago, and everyone's like,
I read
what?
it in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same idea.
And we're like, Matt, can you even read?
Yeah. Which you did predict whether he could or could not read and or write, and I can't remember what you said.
Probably not.
That was...
Yeah. There's no real good schooling in the...
Maybe now, if he's got all those memories. One of those guys got to be able to, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
At least one of them.
Sure. Why not?
Generals and stuff in his...
We missed the best part at the end of this chapter.
Okay. Plus?
She wants to wear the red dress, too.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, and so I thought that because I didn't get what he was talking about...
Sure.
I thought she was going to wear the red dress and Nynaeve wouldn't have to.
Okay.
But that's wrong.
No, she just also wants one.
And now they're both going to be in red dresses.
Yes.
And...
Remember, because Birgitte digs that kind of thing, too.
Oh, yeah, she wanted to wear it. And it, reminds her of Geidel, and now it's, a whole thing, so...
Super cute.
It actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that ends this chapter, and we're going to jump right into chapter 37. Performances in Samara, and the chapter symbol is the lion.
Yeah, okay.
And that's probably because of that thing at the very end where Uno says that Elaine is brave as a queen, in my opinion.
Okay, I was just going to be Elaine's the main attraction, so...
Also that.
This is about Elaine doing crazy stuff.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But I also like to have it have more meaning.
Yeah, I like that too. That's
okay.
Good. I accept. I accept your interpretation.
Yeah, so remember how I said I think that this chapter, for the most part, didn't need to happen?
Sure.
I still stand by that.
Okay, yeah, sure, you could cut it out, but it's like a little bit of flavor.
I know. The issue is the way we're reading it.
That's the problem.
This is like half of what I got to read this
I
week.
know. It's like 8 pages. It's like crazy small. It's like not much happens. And in any reality, you could just like bust through it. 4 of those
pages is Nynaeve being, I usually think Nynaeve is the worst, but this is worse than that.
That's what Birgitte is saying.
Yeah, I know. But there's like so many pages of it just
okay.
on and on. So, okay, let's get into it though, because right away, this is where I have some facts for you.
Okay. Wait, you said...
Yeah, I know.
Not fun facts.
Yeah, it's not that fun.
Okay.
I mean, like, I think it's fun.
Oh, okay.
You actually might think
now
it's
I'm
fun.
concerned.
Okay, let's get into it.
I was thinking it's like a not fun fact where it's like something that's actually kind of sad and depressing, but...
Oh, no. It's kind of boring.
Oh, that's going to be the best kind.
I know.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
okay,
no, that's why I said you'll like it.
Okay, go.
So, we enter in Nynaeve's perspective. We're in her head here, which is the entire chapter. I think maybe the issue is it's all very melancholy feeling.
Yeah.
Because of Nynaeve's state of mind right now. So the whole chapter is like a little bit bogged down in sadness.
Yes, that's because Nynaeve's bogged down in sadness.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. So we fast forward a little bit from the last chapter because we have Nynaeve thinking about how she didn't mind spending the parade through the streets of Samara in the wagon with Elaine.
Yeah, so they are across the river, through the parade, they're here, they're set up, things are happening.
Right, and so right now she's in her crimson dress, feeling very self-conscious, and we get a note about she also has her hair dyed.
Yes.
Almost like a... What does it say? What is the color specifically?
Brassy red?
Yeah. So.
I'm not a hair person, but...
Yes.
Okay.
Here comes the facts.
Oh my goodness. Hit me with it.
All right. So, my first inkling was to be like, and which herb exactly did she use to lift her dark hair? Because nothing can lift dark hair except for bleach.
Okay.
So I did some research.
Sure.
On if there is any sort of organic plant material that can dye hair from dark to light.
Love it.
Because lots of, Birgitte and Elaine both have light hair, and there's lots of things that can darken hair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No problem.
That makes sense.
But to lighten hair is a very difficult challenge.
Well, I just kind of imagine when you're mixing paints on a palette.
Yeah.
It's really easy to make it way darker.
Yes.
You can't do it reverse, though.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
No.
I need a new palette.
It's very... You just need new paint. So...
I'm thinking of paint nights that we go to sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Back in the day, years ago.
I know. Okay, so then I did some digging. Turns out highlighting hair can be traced all the way back to ancient Greece in 4 BC.
This is like a real fun fact.
I know.
I'm so excited.
I knew you would like this.
Okay.
So back then, they used things like olive oil, pollen, and gold flakes combined with hours in the sun. And this reminds me of being a brunette child and squeezing lemon juice into my hair and going out to play, hoping that it would give me blonde hair.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there are things that can be used to lighten hair with the aid of the sun over hours and hours.
Okay.
So things like apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, chamomile, carrot juice, beet juice, henna, and lemon juice can technically sort of be used.
Okay.
But we're led to believe that Nynaeve has very, very dark hair.
Sure.
And I don't buy that any of these things in this short time would have done anything to make them brassy red.
Well, she spends a lot of time in the sun.
I know, but from when? When did she dye her hair? From last night?
Sure. Okay.
And when they were doing this arrow shooting, they hadn't dyed her hair yet, had they?
Could have been an ongoing process, maybe. I'm just trying to fill in some gaps
I know.
Yeah.
But this part is the biggest misstep.
Of all the things that I don't believe.
Yeah, that and then Rand's igloo, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
perception, he thought it was. He lost track of time.
No, it was daylight.
He didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so the only thing that I actually looked into that has any sort of maybe here is henna. So henna is what people in different cultures use to tattoo their skin.
Yeah, henna tattoos.
Because it reacts with the keratin in your skin, making it a semi-permanent tattoo.
Okay.
So it's from a plant, typically like a henna tree
Okay.
or a henna plant, and the leaves are dried and crushed and mixed with water, and it's like a very pigmented dye, and it's on the red side.
Interesting.
So you can also get henna hair dye, and it's natural hair dye that you can get like now today.
Yeah.
And it makes your hair more of a reddish color.
So maybe it's like that with her sun-damaged hair or something like that.
Yeah, the only thing that could even possibly remotely make her hair like a reddish color, in my opinion, would be something like henna.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a little bit of the one power.
I mean, like, maybe.
Just like a sprinkle.
Can they do that?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to fill gaps here.
That actually makes way more sense.
It's like, boom.
Except then why wouldn't they have done that with Elaine from the start?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Birgitte?
It's either science or it's magic. And in this case, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I don't think it's the magic.
Okay.
Because why wouldn't they have done that with Elaine instead of washing her hair every 3 days when her roots start showing? Okay. Back to the actually, other stuff that's happening here.
That's great.
Okay. Did you like that fact?
That was fantastic. I was here for it.
Okay. So, also, suddenly, Birgitte is here, also in her red dress.
Yes.
So, Birgitte tells Nynaeve, if you're going to wear the dress, why are you covering up? Because
she's doing the whole shawl thing.
She has a shawl.
Yeah.
And she says, you're a woman, why not be proud of it? And then we get this super weird back and forth with Nynaeve being super submissive to everything Birgitte says, like with Birgitte pushing things as far as it'll go.
Yeah.
Like, if I told you to lower that neckline an inch, would you? Like,
yeah, Birgitte's doing the thing where she's just pushing and poking to emphasize the fact that Nynaeve is willing to do like literally anything
when it's
that
one
Birgitte
thing
says.
To feel bad about a situation, but it's another to just be like self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Like, this is terrible.
But that's what Nynaeve's doing right now, and that's what I think Birgitte is trying to highlight.
Yeah, because she's pretty much fed up with Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Tells her that this all has to stop, and Nynaeve flinches and runs around waiting on her and is like pushing all of this way too far. And Birgitte says, like, I'm not a monster or an invalid or a child. You don't have to run around and fetch things for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I was dying last night, but I'm clearly fine now.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
You know what I think is a really good way to think of this? The Aiel have it right. It's Giotto. If you think of it think of it in these terms, Nynaeve clearly has an obligation that she needs to like pay off. Like, she has her debt.
Yeah.
She needs to fulfill this debt, and it's making her feel terrible. And the Aiel in their culture have this really great way of being like, okay, you feel bad about this. Here's the obligation. Once you do that, your honor is restored.
Yeah.
You run 50 laps naked around the campsite, and then we're calling it square. Nynaeve literally needs something that's like, okay, I've made it up to Birgitte. If Birgitte's like, hey, you run 50 laps naked around the circus and we call it square, like something like that needs to happen here.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent point.
Yeah, that's why I love Giotto with the Aiel. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Honor an obligation, do your thing, and we're calling it even.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, or like carry this doll for a little while because you were acting childish.
And the issue is Nynaeve doesn't have anything to accomplish. Like, there's nothing. And Birgitte, even on this
just like yelling at her.
And Birgitte is saying nothing, like, don't do anything. That's actually not helping either, because Nynaeve internally feels like she has a debt to pay.
Yeah, she's like, it's all my fault. And Birgitte is like, no, I make my own choices. And it goes back and forth forever. And Nynaeve is just trying to make up for what happened, but Birgitte gets super pissed and is like, there's no fault to be had here. Like, I don't take any blame for what happened to you.
Yeah.
And, like, in my opinion, she should.
Yeah.
Like, she should take a little blame. But she basically is like, I did what I could, when I could, the end.
Yeah.
We battled a Forsaken.
That's what I'm saying, like, if Birgitte was like, okay, you wash my clothes for a month and then we're even, that might actually help Nynaeve get out of the slump. Because it's like, there's the debt you have to pay off to
But
me.
instead, she's like, quit it.
Yeah, don't do anything.
Yeah, and then Nynaeve is just not going to let this go. I remember when I was reading this, I was like 2 pages into this, and Nynaeve just kept, like, it was like she wasn't even listening or processing the words that Birgitte was saying.
She's Eeyoring.
She is Eeyoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody likes me. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
This is my fault. Right? That's exactly what's happening.
Birgitte's not being Winnie the Pooh, though.
No.
Winnie the Pooh never yells at Eeyore.
No.
They're like, come along, Eeyore.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so Birgitte is just annoyed. Nynaeve isn't letting any of this go, and she says, if you miss when you shoot at me today, I want you to know I'll understand.
Yeah.
And Brigitte's like, I never miss, number one. And if I did, it would be to kill you. And I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not missing and I'm not killing you.
Yeah, and then she's like, you know what? I don't like you. Like, and Nynaeve's like, that's okay.
Nobody likes me.
I don't like me either. I'm the worst. I get it. And so she's like, I liked you, Nynaeve. Anger issues and everything. And right now, I don't like you. And she says something here that I think people should use in their daily life.
Ooh, okay, what?
I take people as they are, not as I would like them to be, or I leave them. Period. So I love that.
Okay.
Don't try to change someone because their perception is not your perception. Their perception is their reality. And if you try to change them as a person, it's never going to work. You're wasting your time. Either take them as they are or leave them.
Yeah.
But don't try to take them and be like, oh, but just do this a little differently. Like, that's not how relationships work.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
agree.
if somebody's willing to be like, hey, what can I change? And someone wants to actively work on themselves, that's completely different.
It's a little, it's different. Yeah.
But anyway, this is because of what Nynaeve is doing right now. This isn't in her character, and she needs to get her head out of her butt.
She really does.
So, Birgitte does a little bit of threatening to punish Nynaeve, but then Nynaeve is like, yeah, you can just do whatever you want with me.
It's like, it goes on for literally forever.
Not going anywhere, so Birgitte just tells Nynaeve to get out of here.
Yeah.
So she goes.
And curtsy like a good girl on the way out. Birgitte's trying to, she's trying to poke the bear.
And it, sort of works.
Yeah, she's trying to get a reaction out of, she's trying to get her angry so she can get some of that fire back in her life, but it's not working now.
I feel like it sort of might start to work. Because there are some sparks of Nynaeve being like, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wait a minute. Yes, you can.
Yeah, so it's like just a little bit and hopefully in a couple chapters.
Yeah, soon. So we get a while of Nynaeve leaving and wandering around, heading through all the people. A bunch of stuff is happening. Animals, Tom's juggling fire.
Yeah, so it's basically the circus is out and about and she's wandering.
There's stages built.
We get to see it.
It's a whole thing. So
important note.
Yeah?
There's literally thousands of people here, and they seem to be mostly the prophet's people.
Okay.
Like the followers of the prophet.
Okay.
Maybe not mostly, but like a lot.
Okay. Especially for where they're set up, maybe?
Yeah, because we know that the prophet is here and then all of his followers.
Because they're outside of the actual town.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Well, keep in mind that there's too many followers of the prophet for anybody to do anything about right now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So we get a little bit of a hint of something important.
Yeah.
A shaven-headed man with a top knot and a villainous look, a long scar down his left cheek and a patch over his eye, and he looks familiar.
Yeah, okay.
So this is Uno.
Did you get this on the first read?
Absolutely, I did.
Or after?
No, I did. I got it right away.
Okay.
And normally, my light bulb, my fireworks flash when I see anybody say they looked familiar.
Because they look familiar.
And I always think to myself, oh, I should know this person. Where should I know them from? How do I know this person? And I try really hard. This I got right away.
You want to know why?
Because it's Uno.
Because he has one eye.
Yeah, I know.
And his name's Uno.
I know. It's very... and that's someone we know.
Yeah.
But Nynaeve watches the excellent performance of Julian and Luca next.
It's a fun... Okay, it's long for the way we're reading it, but the scene is actually kind of hilarious.
It is a funny thing, but it's wildly dangerous.
But Julian's good. He's like an acrobat.
I don't understand why all of a sudden he was good when he wasn't before.
Practice.
Yeah, but no.
Practice. Yeah,
no,
he's good.
Not anyone can just be like, oh, by the way, I can do all this shit on a
It's like slacklining. Slackline walking. It's like some people can just they got balance.
I guess.
Some people can just do that kind of thing.
Okay, so maybe Elaine was gonna catch him in air or something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he would fall.
Yeah, okay.
Because she's kind of watching in the crowd. She's not around right now.
Okay.
And so I thought I really thought that Elaine was weaving the air. I didn't get right away that Elaine wasn't channeling.
Yeah, because we get that definitively they're not.
And so right away, this is the whole act. Julian is pretending to be drunk, and he like climbs up the rope ladder and he like goes back and forth like a drunk idiot.
Yeah.
And Julian's
like, oh, where'd I leave my drink?
He's like searching down at the thing and he's wobbling around.
The people love it.
Freaking love it. They
love
think
it.
It's so funny and they want him to fall and die.
Yeah.
But and Luca is just playing it up. Hey man, don't go up there. It's dangerous.
Yeah, don't break your neck. Ah.
Yeah, and it's so people love it. It's so funny. And I thought to myself, this is super dangerous because I thought Elaine was still channeling. And I was like, if there's Black Azure around, Moghedien, like this is a signal.
Yeah.
Like, they're so careful this whole time not to channel unless they have to.
And you're doing it for a circus.
And here you are doing it for this. And I just thought, oh my God, this is annoying. And then we find out she's actually not because it's too dangerous. And then I thought, well, that's dangerous because you could literally just fall.
Well,
like, yeah.
They've been traveling with the circus and presumably practicing.
For how long?
Plus, Julian.
Do we know how long?
Julian's got a history of like jumping around the roofs of Tyr.
You're not answering me. Do we know how long?
Weeks.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough time. As someone who took a circus class.
You went like once a week.
Yeah, but.
You practice every day for a couple weeks, and it's like, what is a little different here?
I don't know.
Let's set up a rope in the backyard.
No thanks. We could do slacklining. Slacklining, I've heard, is quite fun.
Yeah.
But, that's very close to the ground.
And when I nail it on the first attempt.
Yeah, but that's so different. You could not, your knees would be wobbling if you're up too high.
Maybe.
You are so bad with heights.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah, but Julian isn't afraid of heights.
I know. And apparently Elaine isn't either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, whatever. We move on to the main attraction, which is Elaine, all decked out in her Snow White, like, leotard.
And sequins.
And Nynaeve thinks of Min in her boy clothes because Elaine is in these, like, tight pants.
Right.
It's like
and, like, the jacket or whatever.
It's like Min's clothes, but tighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Elaine starts her performance, which goes on and on and on and on and on. Because she goes, and then she comes back, and then she cartwheels, and then she wobbles, whoa, and then she goes back. And then
she gets applause.
And then she handstands, and I was like, oh my God. And Tom just taught her how to handstand and like cartwheel, and she's doing all of this without, no.
You don't buy it?
No.
Oh
it's
my
so
goodness.
Stupid. It's wildly unrealistic. And it was just so unnecessary. Like, I would have much rather preferred them escape and not do this.
Well,
I know.
It's not always about what you want.
I know it doesn't serve the story probably, but this whole thing is so dumb. The fact that this is happening, I find so stupid. Okay, but anyway, Elaine has pretty much done her performance. She just like loves this so much. Everyone thinks she's amazing. And Nynaeve sees Tom being all proud of her and stuff because he taught her a bunch of the stuff to do. And the crowd rushes in to get close to Elaine. And Nynaeve is like, ugh, it's almost like Elaine likes this.
It's like, clearly she does.
And it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she loves the attention.
Loving it.
Yeah.
And then that's when Nynaeve notices the one-eyed man, and he walks by saying, a face like a bloody queen, burn me for a sheep-gutted farmer, but she's flaming well brave enough for a bloody queen. And that's when Nynaeve realizes she remembers where she's seen and heard a man that vulgar before.
Yeah, she has.
It's Uno.
Yeah,
a one-eyed
100%.
man with a top knot who always swears.
Got the sword in his back.
So he's walking away now, and so Nynaeve starts to push through the crowd after him.
It's bloody flaming Uno.
I know, but
What's going to happen?
I know, I'll talk about that in a minute. But
okay.
I just wanted to mention that this line he says here, I need Elaine to hear. I don't know if anyone else is talking about how she's brave enough to be a queen, but that is her thing.
That's like the big weakness because she's always like, I'm not brave enough to be a queen. I'm
not brave enough as my mother.
Yeah.
I need to be brave like my mother to be a queen. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to be a queen.
Which makes her do foolish things like busting on the Black Aja in Tanchico.
Yeah, that's the stuff I like. But
do handstands on a tightrope.
Absolutely.
All sorts of good stuff.
If she hears that validation, maybe she'll be more confident in her own abilities and stop kind of doing wild things, thinking I have to do this to be courageous.
Okay, I can accept that. That's a and
so if Uno's saying something like that, walking by, not even to Elaine, I'm wondering what everyone else in the crowd is like shouting to her. And I hope she hears it and recognizes it. And instead of being like, oh, they like me tightrope walking, she can internalize it a little bit.
I think you're hoping too much from the audience here.
Yeah, but they're all just like yelling, oh, so brave. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. They are all yelling things like that.
Yeah,
so.
Totally. They're yelling, you're brave.
Well, they are.
Well, they're probably yelling stuff like, that she's hot. And, like, I just have less faith in people.
No, we hear it. We, like, we read about the things that they're yelling at her. Oh, my God. Oh, she's so brave. It's like,
but what's actually getting through?
No, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I hope.
Okay, hopefully.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe this was the point.
Okay.
Of her doing this. Like, maybe. It's part of her growth. And I'll accept it.
Okay.
Anyway, what's going to happen?
Also, so Uno.
Yeah, Uno.
I mean, well, we know who the prophet is, so.
Yeah, I know. Massima. Yep. Yeah. We'll, like, go reconnect.
Yeah.
But they only, like, briefly saw them in Faldara.
That's true.
They didn't do any traveling with them.
Yeah, but they have the connection because, like, Rand led them for a while.
That's right.
So
if anyone can control this prophet, it's probably them.
Okay, yeah,
because they have the connection to Rand.
Yeah.
Who can be like, hey.
Well, we also don't really know what he's doing.
No, we'll find out, though.
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out.
Okay. Oh, so you assume that we're going to go meet the prophet?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't say that.
Oh.
Like, Nynaeve's chasing after Uno, but Uno's not the prophet.
You don't think Uno's, like, what's his name's right-hand man?
Don't ask me what I think. It's not about what I think.
I think that.
Okay. So it's going to be like a nice little happy, let's all get together.
I don't think it'll be happy.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, it's a reunion of,
I certainly think it'll be a reunion.
Okay.
And I think that this will give them purpose. Because they have none right now.
Right. It's kind of
other than, like, escaping Mogedi. And, like, they know they need to leave the circus. But, like, are they going to leave the circus? Like, I don't know.
Where do we go now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could find, like, a safe space amongst, like, Massima and Uno and the Shinearn, so.
A safe place, no. But a hiding place?
Well, that's literally what I meant. Like, a place to hide from.
I don't think it'll be very safe. But it'll be safe from Mogedi probably.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fair. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm excited to read on.
Yeah, and hopefully the next 2 chapters are equally good.
I bet
if
they'll
not
be.
Better.
These weren't bad. We had lots to talk about, so I'm happy. It's great. Are you going to tell me what the next chapter is called?
I am.
You haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, tell me.
The next one's called An Old Acquaintance.
Oh, it sounds like we're getting a reunion.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a pretty short chapter.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we're good.
Okay. You know what I was thinking about before we go? That I really want to say out loud here? You know who we haven't heard from in a very long time?
Who?
Morgaze.
Okay, yeah.
Remember she was off to do something?
Yeah, she was leaving. She's going to go find Gareth Bryn.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about it last time when we had that, like, Alliance Forsaken meeting.
Yeah.
And Ravine was there.
Yeah.
We didn't get any mention of Ravine being like, I lost my queen.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter at this point, though, probably, so.
Probably not. No, he's just told everyone that she's, like, sick in bed or something.
Yeah.
But, like, that's a whole thing that's just, like, happening in the background.
There's a lot of plot lines that are happening in the background.
And this book is shaping up to be one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You want to know why?
Why?
Absence of.
Oh my god, I can't believe you're going to say this.
It's Perrin.
There's no Perrin yet.
There's no Perrin in this book. So much of the women, though. All right. I can't be satisfied. All right. So before you go pretending to be Birgitte when you're actually Birgitte, but then you pretend to not be Birgitte, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett with Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Yanis, Megan Smiley, and Jonathan Reese, with music by Audionautics.com. And this is where Lila and I tell you all about how to support us over at Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/The Wheel Weaves Podcast, and our July summer sale is still going on. Lila, did you know that people have requested that you do this with me all the time? And you can find all the ways to connect with us over at our website at www.thewheelweavespodcast.com. Remember to give us that 5-star rating leave a nice comment and tell a friend about us. We'd really appreciate it. Do you want to help me tell the people that this is part of the pattern now? That's right. Thanks for your help.